Today, we are going to head over to the West Coast to talk about Ojai, California. California knows how to party. California knows how to party. Y'all don't judge me, I can't dance for real. What's good in the YouTube hood? It's your girl, Luna Nova, and I am back with another video for you guys today. And again, we were enjoying the haunted rabbit hole of the spooky US of A. So again, we're heading over to the West Coast to see what's really shaking in these streets. Now, if you're here on this channel, you obviously know that I love all spooky things and folklore. Folklore is something that I have definitely taken a strong interest in the last few years. And today we are going to talk about California's most well-known folklore, especially in the city of Ojai, called the Char Man. And as you could guess from the name, it is allegedly about a man who died in a house fire due to some teenagers who were trying to ruffle his feathers and mistakenly burned down his entire house, trying to play a prank on him. And now the Char Man is known to roam throughout the streets of Ojai, California, spooking people, but specifically in an area called the Char Man Bridge. Now, apparently there are several versions of this story, but the version that we are going to go over today is the most well-known version of the Char Man.
Which town in Southern California is known to be the home of a very famous phantom that is connected to one of the scariest urban legends in California? Hi, my name is Tammy. I go by Haunted LA Girl, and I talk about the weird, the creepy, and the downright strange in and around Los Angeles. Today's video takes us to one little valley town known as Ojai, California, which is very popular for its downtown area and luscious valley. But did you know that this place is very famous for the legend of the Char Man? Oh, I don't know why I chose this picture, but let's get into it. The legend of the Char Man has been told for many, many decades. Throughout the many decades, there have been many versions of his legends, so here's one of the most popular ones. The best known version actually occurs in the 1950s with a farmer who was living in the outskirts in the valley, and some teenagers always going on his property in their hot rods. They would park their hot rods on his property, they would trash it, even get drunk. This really infuriated the farmer to the point where he started drinking, and one night, he drank himself to the point where he was so drunk, and he caught those same teens again on his property that night, and he grabs a shotgun and shoots a warning shot in the air, to which they fled from his property in fear. But this really pissed them off, so they decided to go back and pay him a little visit. They wanted to get revenge on him. The teens thought that it would be a wonderful idea to set his tool shed on fire. However, what they didn't think was that the fire was going to spread to his house. The fire spread to his house, causing his house to burn down and the farmer to burn to death inside. That's not where the story stops. So his vengeful spirit is often seen charred, skin hanging off of his body, walking down Creek Road at night in search of those teenagers who burnt down his entire house. Now, there are some people out there who have claimed that they've seen the apparition of the Char Man on Creek Road. When they see him staggering up and down the road, wearing raggedy clothes. His skin is completely charred and hanging off his body, and he has the most terrifying look, angry look on his face. It doesn't just stop right there. People have claimed that before they see him, they smell what smells like charred flesh. Other versions have claimed that it was a father and son that lived on the property, and it was an actual fire in 1948 that swept the valley in Ojai and cost the lives of this man and his son. And it's the spirit of the man that walks Creek Road. Another version is that of a man whose car broke down on Creek Road. Someone hit his car and his car exploded with him inside, thus making him the charred man. Or that it was a hiker that actually was a victim of the 1948 fire. Like I said before, there's many, many versions, but all leads down to one account that many of the Ojai residents have claimed to have seen on certain nights. And that is the apparition of the charred man. Sometimes he's not often seen on Creek Road. He's often seen on what they call the Char Man Bridge, which is near Camp Comfort. This is a place where, yes, a lot of students from Nordhoff High School have claimed to come in late at night, park their cars, and call to the Char Man by honking their horns. They could piss him off, and he can appear in front of them and scare the crap out of them. The legend of the Char Man is so popular that in 2019, a mockumentary was created called Char Man that was inspired by this legend, and this legend is even more popular to the point where Char Man has his own hot sauce. He has his own hot sauce. Imagine Char Man being on an episode hot ones with his own hot sauce. Like I would love to summon him to see him on an episode of Hot Ones. Let me know if you've heard of the legend of Char Man. Better yet, have you tried to summon Char Man? Have you seen him? Most of all, have you tried his hot sauce? Let me know if it's really good, if it's worth the try. I like to try it. Stay haunted and stay weird, Ojai, California. Hot Ones.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but if some pesky teenagers burned down my house, which cost me my life, I'm probably going to be haunting up and down and all up and through the streets. To the north, the south, the east, and the west of every street that I can possible. Because why would you do that to me? I was not bothering you, so why would you come bothering me? So now I'm going to have to spend my afterlife haunting the shit out of the rest of you. Sorry, not sorry. Now, because Camp Comfort was mentioned in the last video, we are obviously going to jump into that for the next spooky place in Ojai, California. And it definitely reminds me of another folklore story that we did talk about when I was going over Latin folklore. And if you didn't watch that video, definitely go back and watch that after this video. But the similar story would be the story of La Llorona. And if you don't know what story that is, again, you should definitely go back and watch the video. But there are a lot of similarities between the haunting that happens around Camp Comfort and the story of La Llorona. Apparently, this haunted bride likes to haunt the campgrounds of Camp Comfort, looking for her greedy fiance that murdered her on the day of her wedding. Because apparently, he was just only out for her money. Yes, there are gold digging men too, ladies. Y'all be careful. If you are born into some money, make sure your man is marrying you for love, because he might just try to unalive you for your funds. Don't be afraid to sign that prenup, girl. It's for your own protection. Just saying.
In Ventura County, there is a camping ground and a road that is full of hauntings and urban legends. There's a ghost bride in a bloody wedding dress. People claim that she's tall and slim, with light brown hair and a veil covering her face. The story is that she was murdered on the day of her wedding by her greedy fiancé who only wanted her for her money. She has been seen hitchhiking. Second, there's also a spirit of a woman on a horse that reenacts her death every year on her anniversary. Then there's a headless motorcyclist who's seen speeding on a lonely road. His story is that he was forced off the road by a pickup truck and was decapitated by a wire fence. There's also sightings of the Native American shaman with feathers in his hair. Did you know that this area hides the skeleton of a European vampire who lies staked inside a stone coffin and who is guarded by a huge black phantom dog? If you would like me to do a video on the vampire, please let me know in the comments. I'll be doing a part 2 on the nearby road.
With me having family and friends that live in California, to this day, I find it very interesting that I have mentioned some of the things that I'm talking about today, and they have definitely spoken about them and their creepy experiences there. But one thing that I did not know, that I had to find out from one of my cousins, and if you're watching, hey cousin, I definitely had to find out from one of my cousins that apparently California has a vampire problem. Kind of similar to New Orleans. I will be doing a part 2 on New Orleans about those vampires, but we're talking about Ojai right now. Apparently Ojai has a serious vampire problem that's been going on for a while now. It's nothing new, not 1 decade, not 2 decades, it's a few generations out. This has been an issue. And especially in Ojai, California, being such a lush valley area, obviously there's a lot of farming that goes on there. And back in the day, apparently a lot of farmers would wake up to their cattle being slaughtered, but not a drop of blood was there. Literally, their animals, their livestock would be drained of their blood. Now, it's said that there are a lot of portals to the underworld, if you will, that reside in the US of A. And apparently there are a few of them in California, specifically Ojai. So folklore stories of hellhounds and vampires running amok in the 1800s does not surprise me.
Did you know California had a vampire problem in 1890? Specifically in Ojai, California, which apparently has a lot of weird stuff in it. But we're going to talk about the vampire issue it had. So back in the late 1800s, a man from either Spain or Italy, the origins of him are kind of fuzzy, decided to migrate to Ojai, California and have a farm. But the minute he got there, weird stuff started to happen. People would say that their own cattle would be found mutilated or drained of blood. Other people in towns started going missing. There were strange, really aggressive dogs that just appeared throughout town, especially where this man was living. Eventually, people started to put two and two together. They realized that everything kind of led back to his place, and that this mystery man was the root of all of these problems. I mean, after all, people didn't start going missing until he showed up. So the people of the town decide to take matters into their own hands. They're going hunting for a vampire. The smart thing to do, and what they decided to do, was go during the day. And of course, he wasn't around in his ranch because he was sleeping in a sarcophagus they found above ground on his property. Now, it all sounds a little too easy, right? That's because it was. So when they got close to this sarcophagus, a giant black dog they described to be phantom-like came barreling towards them, and they were chased off. Their next step was to return with better equipment, if you could call it that. They came back with silver crosses and holy water. The cross warded off the dog but didn't stop it. It was finally when somebody threw holy water at the dog that it ran off, and they were able to get into the sarcophagus. Once they got into the sarcophagus, they immediately staked this mystery man and then resealed it with a little extra measure. But then everything seemed to go back to normal. There were no more disappearances, no more mysterious ways their cattle was dying. Everything seemed to die down. Almost. Now, the vampire has never returned, but it's said that the area where this sarcophagus is, which is still apparently somewhere there, that the black dog is still being seen. So my question is, if this black dog is still being seen around where this mystery man is sealed, does that mean he's really dead? Or could he come back?
Now, you heard folklore facts. She said that he is sealed up in some type of tomb somewhere where the people had him locked away, apparently. But his Hellhound, that's what I'm going to call him because that's what he's sounding like if you ask me. The Hellhound is still seen lurking around those areas of his resting place. So is he actually gone? I don't want to say what else, because I definitely don't want to fuck around to find that out. Now, with speaking of hellhounds, you see how all of these videos are connecting one to the other? I don't know what it is about Ojai, but all the spooky shit is just intertwined here. But I digress. Now, we all know every cemetery has some type of spooky folklore in regards to it, but Ojai apparently has a hellhound that likes to lurk around its cemetery. Now, although Ojai is known for its spooky phenomenon, it's also known for its cute boutiques as well as its beautiful scenery. And I'm not going to lie, they have some of the most beautiful waterfalls I have ever seen. And y'all see the one that I like to post on my community page here where I love to go all the time. Your girl's a fan of the waterfalls. I love me a waterfall. So I'm not gonna lie, the next time I'm going out to go visit my abuela on my father's side, I'm definitely gonna have to take a trip down to Ojai and visit some of these beautiful sceneries. I'll let y'all know though. Another very well-known haunted place in Ojai that is not too far off from the Ojai Cemetery would be the Ojai Valley Inn. Now apparently room number 5 has the most paranormal activity in it.
This unique tourist destination in Southern California is any outdoorsman and metaphysical enthusiast delight. All the businesses are small and locally owned. There's no shortage of activities if you enjoy art, design, and boutique shopping, as well as biking, hiking, or hitting the coast just 15 miles away.
It also happens to be considered one of the most haunted towns in Southern California. The cemetery was founded in 1870 and is said to be haunted by a phantom dog, said to run the grounds at night or is sometimes just heard growling.
The Ojai Valley Inn opened in 1923. Visitors and witnesses claim that in room 5 there is what sounds like someone knocking from inside the closet. Once opened, it's empty except for the foul odor that wasn't present before.
There is also the Char Man apparition on Creek Road. There are multiple variations to his origin story, but the perhaps most well-known is that of a father and son burned in a cabin during a brush fire. The father didn't survive, the son barely survived, but it took several days for help to arrive. Upon arrival, they discovered the son wearing his father's charred skin. It's believed the son haunts the road trying to collect skin.
The Ojai Valley Inn, located in Ojai, California, is reputed to be one of the area's most haunted locations. The most well-known ghostly activity is said to occur in room number 5. where guests have reported hearing banging noises coming from inside the closet. And when they investigate the source of the noise by opening the closet door, they are often met with a foul odor that wasn't noticeable before. In addition to the mysterious occurrences in room number 5, there have been sightings of a ghostly man dressed in fancy clothing in the lobby of the inn. Another account describes a couple dining in the restaurant when the husband would feel something tugging at the shirt collar from behind, despite there being no one there near them at the time. As you can imagine, the experience left them both alarmed. Have you experienced anything here? If so, comment down below.
I don't know about you guys, but if I hear something knocking from the inside of a closet, I'm not going to knock back or open it. But apparently that's what a lot of people like to do when they hear this knocking, when they stay in room 5 in the Ojai Valley Inn. Whether it's hauntings of the Char Man Bridge, hellhounds, or apparently vampires that like to roam throughout the valley. I don't know about you guys, but Ojai definitely sounds like a spooky place that I definitely want to visit. Now, I'm going to have to do further research, but Ojai, California is definitely one of the higher ranking haunted places in California. But if you know some other places that you want to hear me talk about, definitely leave it down in the comments and I'll get to researching. But this video was nice, short, cute, and to the point. But again, I definitely will be coming back with the part 2 because there is so much more that my cousins definitely filled me in on, and I'm sure you guys want the tea too. If you haven't had a chance to go and look at the community page, make sure that you go and look, because right now I have a very special bundle going on for all of my haunted hotties out there. And don't forget, if you are looking for me for readings, please do not get scammed out of your money. The only places that you can reach me are my business email or directly on my Etsy page. Do not get scammed. There are a plethora of fake social media accounts out there, especially on TikTok. I am not actively on TikTok, so if you see an account with my face putting out content, it's not me. That is a scammer. Please block, report, and delete in that order. That being said, make sure that you drink your water, mind your business, and stay prayed up and protected. And as always, Luna loves you.